Okay, so looking around, I did see that everybody got the right volume. Some people were figuring out number two by using a formula. Some people were figuring out by plugging in numbers. I do want to show you how to do it with a formula because it's definitely way shorter. And that's one of the objectives today is to rewrite equations in terms of a different variable. So the volume of a cylinder's formula is this. And let's say we have a height and we want to, and a volume, and we want to figure out the radius. So we want to solve it for r squared. What would you do first mathematically to do that? Some of you did this. So what would you do?
Divide v by pi times h.
Very good. So because that's all multiplication over there on the side with the r. So to undo multiplication, you're going to divide. And it would leave you with this. And then what would you do? Can y'all see that? It's kind of small.
Square root.
Square root. Now, normally when you solve by taking the square root, you have to do the positive and negative square root. Does a negative radius make sense at all? No, so just the positive radius. Okay. So what height do you guys want to do that's larger than 12.1? 13.5? Okay. So I'm just going to plug it into the calculator with the volume and then that height. If you didn't do 13.5, you do not have to change yours. It doesn't matter at all. All right. Action, guys. All right. So if you want the volume with that height, you want it to be the same, your radius should be about 2.9 centimeters. Okay, now let's take that same volume formula and let's solve it for h. There are a few less steps to solve it for h. There's only one step, actually. What's that one step? Very good. My pie looks super weird. Okay, so then you would just pick a radius that is bigger than 3.1. Anybody have one? Yes, sir.
Did you have to do that, or could you just use the other one and make it smaller than 12.1? Because that will make the radius bigger.
Oh, absolutely, you could. That wasn't what I intended for you to do, but that would definitely work. Let's use this formula. Does someone have a radius you want to use that's bigger than 3.1? We'll do 4. All right, I'm just going to type it here. 3.653, and then 4 squared times pi.
Put that entire thing in there? Because I just put 0.3.
What?
You should have to put 0.3. It'll be fine.
Oh, I did something wrong. Oh, maybe not. We're good. Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, any questions on rewriting the formula? We'll do some more of rewriting formulas, but yeah. Okay, can we have some more questions about this bubbly can? Because you guys are working for Bubbles Bottling Company now. And one of your colleagues says that this person doesn't know math very well. They argue that doubling the radius of the can and halving the height will keep the volume the same. Is this true?
No.
Some of you actually tried it. What happened when it doubled the volume? Why did that happen? Right, the radius is being squared. So because the radius is squared, I don't know, this doesn't work, I don't know, this isn't true. And then the volume is doubled. Okay, then Food Lion sells bubbly water and is offering a sale on its individual cans. For the price of an original can of bubbly, you can either choose a can with the same height but twice the radius, or a can with the same radius but twice the height. Which is a better deal? B.
That's what drinks are now. They're just a little bit higher, a little bit taller.
But we want the most volume. Which one is going to give you the most volume?
B's gonna double it. I think A.
A is going to double it.
I know the volume.
A is not going to double it. B is going to double it. What is A going to do?
A is gonna
Quadruple it.
I'm not trying to get a phone range.
So, just doubling the height is going to double the volume, but doubling the radius, that gets squared, so it quadruples the volume. Okay, and then for 5, suppose you had an option of buying a can with twice the radius and twice the height for triple the price. Is this better or worse deal than option A and option B? So I'm just going to do a volume and see what happens. So we're going to double the radius and double the height. So when I square that, I also have to square the 2. And then when I multiply those together, it's 8 times the original volume. All right, so it's way bigger, 8 times the original. Would it be worth that if you have to pay triple the price?
Yes.
Can you get 8 times the original doing multiple cans of A or B?
Yeah. 2.
Yeah. So option A, 2 cans is going to be 8 times the volume. And how much would you have to pay? 2 times the price. So option A is the best overall option out of all the options that there are. Okay, so on the back, we are going to fill in some notes. Now, volume formulas, if I give you a volume question like for a cone or a sphere or a pyramid, I'm going to give you the volume formula. Even in calculus, they don't have to memorize volume formulas. I'm not going to expect you guys to memorize them. But maybe like some easy ones like a cube, you would need to know how to find the volume of a cube, like length times base times height. Anyway, okay, so on the back, our quick notes are that formulas can be rearranged to solve for a given variable. Right, and so that's what we did when we solved for h. We solved for r. On here, we're going to solve for h on a surface area problem. All right, and then changing dimensions. Does not always affect volume proportionally. I'm struggling saying words today. All right, so if on the ACT, like they don't give you the formula and you want to try to remember, I'm going to show you some quick ways to try and remember some volume formulas. So some common volume formulas. you have a prism or a cylinder. So it's usually a rectangular prism or a cylinder. If you want to find the volume, it's going to be V equals the area of the base times the height. This box isn't quite big enough for as big as I'm writing. All right, and then for a cone or a pyramid, the volume is 1/3 the area of the base times the height. But on those cones and spheres and pyramids, I will give you the volume formulas. Okay, so on number 1, we have if the volume of a sphere is 400 pi cubic inches, what is the radius? So I'm just going to take that 400 pi cubic inches and put it in for the volume. Does that happen very often? Never seen that happen. All right, and then I want to solve this for R. What would you guys do first? Divide by 4/3 pi, or you can multiply by the reciprocal. Your calculator is smart enough, you can just divide by 4/3 pi. The pi cancels out, and then if you do 400 divided by 4/3 or 400 times the reciprocal, either way, you're going to get 300 is equal to R cubed. And then how would you find R?
You take the cube root.
You take the cube root. You guys are so smart. All right, and that's going to be 6.69 inches is going to be the radius, sorry. All right, y'all okay? So I just put in what the volume was and solved the equation. This one was kind of weird because it had pi in it and a fraction in it. All right, on number 2, we are going to solve that surface area of a cylinder equation for H. So I'm going to highlight the H. What would you guys do first to get H by itself? There's a bunch. But then H wouldn't be by itself. It'd be over with the surface area. It's okay.
No, well, I'm dividing each time H is one.
But
It would be surface area over everything else equals H.
No, it's okay. So let me change it. Instead of surface area, I'm going to have that be 5. And then instead of 2 pi r squared, let's just make it 2. And then we're going to say plus 2h. On that one, on that purple one, what would you do first to solve it for h?
Subtract 2.
Right, so what do you think you're going to do on the other one?
Subtract 2 pi r squared.
Very good. So surface area minus 2 pi r squared is equal to 2 pi r h. Yes, and then you're going to divide by 2 pi r. And we can leave it super messy. We can leave it just like this. It's okay. So h is going to be all that stuff divided by all that stuff. And that's it. That's it. We're going to leave it messy. We could try to make it prettier, but I don't want to. It's fine, just the way it is. Okay, on number 3, the directions on a funfetti cake mix. Suggest using either a 10-inch round pan or an 8-inch square pan. Which pan gives you a taller cake? You think so?
Because the 10-inch one is wider, so it's
figure out the area of the base on both of them. I like your reasoning. I think you might be right, but let's make sure. So it's 10-inch diameter.
What if one of the pans is just made for making taller cakes?
That doesn't happen. It matters what you put into it, how tall it gets. So that is a 10-inch diameter. For our problem, we need that it's a 5-inch radius. So let's figure out the area of the base of each. So the round base, and then we have a square base. Do you guys remember how to find the area of a circle? Pi r squared. Good job. So we're going to do pi times 5 squared. Did that a second ago. And that's going to be a base of 78.5 square inches. All right, what about this 8-inch square base? What's going to be that area? This is a square, so we don't have to do half or anything. We're just, it's an 8-inch square. So to find the area, we're just going to square that 8. Okay, so now, which one, when I pour all the cake in, is it going to be taller? Why?
Because it's got a smaller base.
Smaller base, very good. So since the area of the base is smaller, the height must be larger. Because the volume is the same. You're pouring in the same amount of cake mix. All right, let's do this practice ACT question. After I printed this off and looked at it a little closer, we kind of already done this problem. You guys read it. See if you looking at what we did on the back with like doubling and halving. How do you say that word? Halving. See if you can figure out, like, look at what happened with the can. Think about what's going to happen with this cylinder, and see if you can figure out what the volume of it is going to be. Hold on, you are right. Let's give everybody a chance. All right, so this is like that colleague question. And in that case, the volume was doubled. So what do you guys think the answer should be? Nice job, guys.